Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another 5 minutes or less horror movie review. This week we're going to take a look at a real fun one, 1987's Insect, directed by veteran Canadian director William Fruet. This film is perhaps better known as Blue Monkey, which is how you'll find it on IMDb. It also stars Canadian actor John Vernon, who was in such Canadian horror films as Curtains, and also Steve Railsback. And the film is actually about an insect, not a blue monkey. An insect that looks kind of like that. A combination of an ant and a praying mantis, I would say, is about how I would describe it. This is a fun 1980s, kind of a gross out creature feature that doesn't take itself too seriously. And you should not take this film very seriously going into it. It's kind of a lot of fun. And essentially, you have a couple things happen in a hospital at the same time. Steve Railsback comes in with his partner who's been shot, so he's wanting to get treatment, of course. And then you have an older gentleman who has been bitten by an insect that hitched a ride apparently on an exotic plant from somewhere in the Pacific. I don't remember. And he instantly sort of breaks out in a rash and has convulsions or whatever. Gets taken to the hospital. There's a very nice effect where his neck bulges and then he's kind of spits out this ginormous slug-looking thing. It kind of looks like, I don't know. It kind of looks like a log of white poo. I don't know how to... Anyway, this thing starts moving around. This plot is very convoluted. And the Steve Railsback character is right there when all this happens. So he's kind of helping out, holding him down. He starts talking to the doctor. Maybe, eventually maybe there's going to be some romance between him and one of the female doctors. So they basically trap this in a little slug-like creature in a glass container. But then we also meet some very precocious kids in the hospital who are supposed to be in their room, but who like to go out and explore and get into trouble. And one of them has created this fantasy where a creature called the blue monkey lives in the basement corridors, which they often will go explore, which comes in handy later when one of the kids guides the Steve Railsback character down there to the lair of these now large insects. My gosh, that was a convoluted sentence. Anyway, before that happens, the kids sneak in, and of course the nurse that is supposed to be guarding this thing, being an 80s film, sneaks out with a real doofus, I don't know if he's an orderly or whatever he is, but, for a little hanky-panky. So she's gone for a while. The kids come in, see this slug, so naturally they think we have to feed it. So they grab whatever's on the shelf, and it happens to be some kind of growth compound. It could have been sulfuric acid. They could have, burned themselves and burned up the little critter, but that wouldn't quite work for the plot. So anyway, this thing grows large, escapes, cocoons a bunch of people, it goes down into the basement and starts laying eggs, and we've got a lot of really good gross out effects. The cocoon people look good. The eggs look good. There's lots of slimy, gooey stuff in this film. The actual creature looks pretty good. There is an actor credited as the creature, so apparently there was someone in a suit. You don't really see the whole thing. You see it from the waist up or chest up most of the time, but you get the sense that it's pretty big and scary. And it's, it's a fun time. You have a lot of goofy, they also introduce you to a lot of characters in the hospital. Joe Flaherty is in this, playing sort of a neurotic husband whose wife is about to give birth. The woman who owned the greenhouse that had the plant where the guy got bit, she comes in, and then everyone gets quarantined, so they're all stuck in there. She's got an old friend who sneaks in with the bottle of alcohol, so the two of them start getting lit in the hospital while all this is going on. So there's some goofy comedy moments. There's a bug expert that's brought in, this guy here. And I have to say, this movie's actually pretty cool because he really rises to the occasion. I mean, he's almost like one of the action heroes of the film. He's got a recording of the little bug noises. Of course, he's an eccentric character who keeps his food in the same refrigerator as like bug cartoons and cocoons and everything. And, John Vernon is customarily sort of like the authority type figure, who tries to keep a lid on everything. It says that this has a great performance by Steve Railsback. Yeah, he's pretty good. He doesn't quite have as much to do. I think I like him better when he's a creepy character, like in Deadly Games, which I reviewed on the channel. There he is in the sunglasses and that. All in all, a fun film. Is it top tier 80s creature feature? No, it's probably like a notch below, you know, certainly like a B movie, but a fun movie. I mean, you can really have a lot of fun with this if you're in that kind of a mood and you don't want to think too hard. Throw this in and admire the special effects and the 80s charm. Have you seen it? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Next time I'm coming back with a true classic of 1980s horror, creature feature, schlock. Okay? So I'll see you then. Thanks.